When you hear the word yoga, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Probably a quiet studio, right? Or maybe a silent retreat somewhere far away. But what if the most powerful yoga practice wasn't on a mat at all, but right inside your own home? We're diving into a pretty radical idea from Pandit Sharma Acharya, that married life itself can be a path to enlightenment. So this is the big question we're exploring today. The idea here is that the daily grind, the joys, the challenges, all the compromises of family life, isn't a distraction from the spiritual path. It is the path. So how do we even begin to see it that way? Okay, but before we go any further, let's just be real for a second. For a lot of us, the idea of marriage as some kind of spiritual practice, it might sound a little unlikely. I mean, it often feels more like a source of stress, right? Well, the book tackles this modern reality head-on. The author totally gets it. He acknowledges that the ideal of marriage and the day-to-day reality of it have drifted pretty far apart. And this isn't just a new problem, it's a distortion that's kind of crept in over time, and it's led to a whole lot of dissatisfaction. This quote really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? When our expectations aren't met, it's so easy to blame the institution of marriage itself. But the book poses a really challenging question. What if the problem isn't the container, but what we're putting into it? What if the issue isn't marriage at all, but our whole attitude towards it? So, if our approach is the problem, how do we fix it? Well, the answer lies in really understanding what yoga truly means. It's a word we throw around all the time, but its original meaning is the key that unlocks this entire philosophy. And this is absolutely crucial. Long before it was about stretching and physical postures, yoga has always been about union. The original Sanskrit word yuj literally means to join or to unite. It's all about the process of bringing separate parts together into a connected whole. So according to this philosophy, we all kind of walk around in a natural state of being incomplete. We feel like these separate, fragmented selves. The entire goal of any yogic practice, then, is to move from that feeling toward a state of wholeness, of completeness. I mean, how beautifully does this quote put it? The whole point of yoga is to link our smallness, our limited individual ego, with greatness, with something vast and universal. So the big question is, how on earth does married life become the perfect arena for this kind of profound work? This brings us right to the core of the argument, the immense spiritual significance of what's known as the Grahastha ashrama, which is really just the stage of life of the householder, family life. Now, this idea really challenges a common assumption we have about spirituality. We often picture holy people as these ascetics who renounce society and retreat from the world. But this book argues for a totally different path, one that's practiced not by running away from worldly responsibility, but by engaging with it fully, right there in your own home. This is such a powerful metaphor. So in the Vedic tradition, life is seen in 4 stages, or ashramas: the student, the householder, the retiree, and the renunciate. This quote is arguing that the spiritual weight of the householder stage is actually equal to the other 3 combined. It's not a lesser path, it's the very foundation of a spiritual society. And this just debunks a huge myth. We tend to imagine the ancient sages, the rishis, as these solitary hermits. But the text reminds us that most of the revered wise ones, well, they were married and they raised families. Their wisdom wasn't found in quiet isolation. It was forged in the messy, beautiful crucible of family life. Okay, so if family life is the yoga studio, what's the actual practice? It all comes down to one fundamental inner shift, moving from selfishness to selflessness. And right here is the diagnosis for so much human conflict. We are conditioned to enter every situation asking, what can I get out of this? This philosophy invites us to do a radical 180, to instead ask ourselves, what can I give? I just love this analogy. It perfectly captures the core idea. Our experience is shaped entirely by our perception. If we wear the glasses of burden, our family life will feel like a burden. But if we choose to see it as a training ground for spiritual growth, then that's exactly what it becomes. The circumstances don't even have to change, only the lens we're looking through. And this shows us exactly how that practice unfolds. It's like a series of expanding circles of care. It starts by expanding yourself to include your partner. Then, that circle widens to include children, then extended family, the neighborhood, and eventually all of society. It's this gradual, systematic dissolving of the ego. This whole journey of expansion leads to a pretty profound transformation, where the walls of your home seem to dissolve, and you begin to see it as a microcosm of the entire cosmos. And this is the ultimate payoff. That simple daily practice of putting your family's needs before your own, that becomes the training ground for the highest spiritual realization there is. That experience of deep interconnectedness, of seeing your own soul reflected in the whole world. And this is the final destination of the path. That small, demanding I just dissolves, and what's left is a connection to everything else. This is how that feeling of incompleteness is healed. The purpose of yoga, which is union, is finally achieved, not by escaping family life, but by fully 100% embracing it. So, we'll leave you with this final question to think about. In the daily give and take, in all the joys and the challenges of your relationship, could it be that your greatest spiritual teacher isn't on a mountaintop somewhere, but is actually sleeping right next to you?